There's other option here too. There's always been here. I mean, it's not going to stop. It's just what it is. If you go to prison, men adapt to that lifestyle.
I fundamentally disagree with that statement. I fundamentally disagree with that. I think that we're in a culture now where when you say more men are comfortable coming out, there are also people who are trying this. You may not. I may not.
I don't think nobody's trying. I think women are.
Hold on, Amber. Go ahead, Amber.
I don't think that men are just trying it. Women, it's arguable. Yeah. Just because you hear music, all this stuff, men think it's cute. Men might encourage it for their woman to try something else, and so that's why people would sit there and try it. Because guys will sit there and watch two girls, but they won't sit there and watch two guys. And they'll encourage it. So that's completely different. But I think that there's always been just as many men who were homosexual. It's just they're not going to say something. And until we make an environment where it's okay for people to be themselves, that's when you create a dangerous situation where people can't come out and say, I'm a homosexual, so I'm going to have a wife and I'm going to do something else, because people aren't comfortable. They feel like they might be ostracized. Their family's not going to accept them. People aren't going to get love, and they're not going to lose their whole life.
It creates a child in a marriage and then a divorce.
Right.
Because, like you were saying earlier, how do you know? I'm just putting a question out there. I'm not trying to judge you, but I'm putting a question out there. How do you know that those urges that you were having earlier didn't, in some subconscious kind of way, cause some of the issues in your marriage?
No, absolutely not.
Throughout those years.
No, absolutely not.
How can it's complex.
Well, one of the problems with coming out, or at least explaining how gay men think, is oftentimes we can say something, but I said it, but you don't believe it. You're going to go back to yourselves and you're going to assign me what I think. But I just told you. But in my marriage, it was a decent marriage. Nothing was different than any other marriage.
But I thought you were saying earlier there was sexual problems in the sense of
no. Well, yes,
there really was. And that's what I was alluding to. Like, but that's what he was kind of saying. Like those problems of like, I like some other stuff too, wife, but I can't talk to you about that.
Can I say?
Is that out of bounds?
No, you didn't ask anything.
No, it's not out of bounds, but
this
that
pretty racist.
Accurate. You know what I'm saying? I like something, you're not into it.
Sure.
And I'm one thing about men, we don't deprive ourselves of anything. If it's something we like and we've been introduced to it, if a woman doesn't like oral sex, if your girlfriend, wife doesn't like it, doesn't mean he's not getting it. You know what I'm saying? If that's something he's into, that's what he's going to pursue, even if it's not with his main person. You know what I mean?
I feel like the problem. No, but I feel like the problem with these, or a challenge with having these kind of conversations. I think the challenge with having these kinds of conversations is precisely what he said. Even if we're having a conversation about race, it's hard for you to take from a white person speaking about the black experience, because you're not that. Right. You can't speak about his experience or anyone's experience as a homosexual if you're not one. Right. Now you can try and understand it, but you have different reference points, you have different experiences, so you're judging and making comments and forming opinions based on your heterosexual reference when you have no homosexual one.
Absolutely, and I please don't get me wrong, I don't seek to understand it. I seek to understand its behavior and its effect on my people. That's what I seek to understand. I seek to understand, and I seek to, in my own way or my own opinion, which is just my own, how that behavior is affecting my community at large, because it is.
But how can you? If you have no reference, you can't really. No, but you can't have a dialogue when you have no way to.
No, but the reference I have is what's going on in my community right now. The lack of black men, the lack of black fathers, the lack of men in the community. I got these kids running around. I got mothers raising boys. I mean, I'm looking at the problems every day. I'm seeing what the problems are. And for y'all,
but you're saying that they haven't been there. They just haven't been discussed.
No.
Just like molestation in the household wasn't discussed years before, all those things.
That's what y'all saying. I don't agree with the statement that there are just as many gay men out there as there have always been. I think there's a lot more out there who are making decisions, who are feeling a certain way, or who have been emotionally scarred or sexually abused, who are choosing to come out and say,
all those things have always happened. Is the point that's all.
Are you telling me that you've never seen a 5-year-old boy that you were like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? That he's been there his whole life.
Now. Seriously, I went to a junior high school. I went to a junior high school and a high school and a college where I saw there were guys that we saw. Oh yeah, they're gay. We were cool with them. Everything was cool. Now you go on any college campus, there's 15 or 20 of them.
But the point is, they always were there. Those same 15 or 20 that you're seeing now, whatever the number you're saying, they were always there. Now they just can say, I'm here now.
Exactly.
They were always
I don't agree. And you know what? I don't agree. I'm sorry.
I don't agree. I think the culture
has changed. That's the point.
The culture has changed.
But the science hasn't changed. There's still always going to be men. Men. That goes to my point. Men don't experiment outside.
Keith was saying he's seen no examples of that. You want to talk about that?
No, but I do see. I mean, no, I'm just saying that.
You don't think it was came in, like we talked about more, I think we were mentioning Morehouse. They'll just say, let's this is the ugly truth. We're talking about Morehouse campus. You see a lot more, but you mean to tell me there was those same amount of gay men there, they just weren't wearing dresses. That's the difference.
Think about this.
Now they
Say no.
Think about this.
Say no.
At all middle schools.
Think about this. What you were saying earlier about
all middle school, you don't think there was no gay stuff going on.
no, it always has been.
Come on.
That's the difference. Don't say the numbers were the same.
But no.
The numbers were not the same.
But think about it though. Think about what you're saying. Think about the big picture, okay? You were talking earlier about the family unit, and you have so many more. The more single parent households you have, think about it. A child emulates the behaviors of their parents. Okay, if they don't have a father figure there to look up to watch the behaviors of, to bring out certain behaviors in them that are already there, that they're already born with, then that can have some effect as well. I mean, and those numbers will grow. The more households you have that don't have that father figure there. Do you understand what I'm saying? No, I don't know. I just, for me, I cannot get past the point of what you were saying earlier about the urges that you had and the feelings that you had, and it being there. And I'm not saying that there's probably a lot of other boys growing up and young men growing up that have those urges, that have those feelings, that never in their lifetime react to them. Okay? And certain things, you're equipped with certain things that will allow you to respond in a certain way to them. So, I mean, I'm not saying it, and I agree with you, Tommy, that not every man has those kind of instincts. I mean, I don't have them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I've never had them. You know, it doesn't mean that I won't look at a guy and say, oh, that's a handsome guy. You know what I mean? Like, you know, what you find attractive. Or even just a level like...
But my question is, what's the alternative? So, fine, there needs to be, you want two-parent households, you want men in the community.
That's not what I'm saying.
I'm talking about to Shelley's point. What's the alternative when you have someone in a situation where they have urges and they're attracted to someone of the same sex, but they stay there because that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be there with their family. They're supposed to do all of those things, and then it's a miserable situation for the kids and for the family to be in because that person doesn't want to be there.
I think we've come to a point in our culture, this is not a black thing or anything, I think in our culture we've come to the point where that uneasiness now we're quick to leave. I think that if you're in that situation, you have these uneasy feelings, and you're really a woman screaming to get out of a man's body and so forth and so on. You know, I mean, do what you got to do.
Dude, I want nobody who wants to.
Right.
Like, as a woman, if my husband decides that.
But you took him. He always had those feelings, but you said that.
See, that's what I'm saying. Everybody doesn't necessarily know that. And as a woman, Okay, well, we need to go ahead and go our separate ways because I don't want any confusion. I want you to want me. So you're speaking from a dude, but no.
I'm gonna honestly tell you like this. I don't think, and this just takes us into another area, and maybe you can speak to this, Wayne, but this takes us into another area where I don't think women necessarily don't know, because I don't see how you cannot know.
That's definitely a different question.
I mean,
there's women who are definitely...
No. I'm saying, I don't see how you cannot know. I'm saying, as a woman sleeping with a... Wait a minute, let me finish. Can I finish my point? I don't see as a woman married, not sleeping with, not meet them in the club. I'm talking about married. You went down the aisle, so you're supposed to know this person. I don't see how any woman could be married to a man, have children with a man, sleep with him on a regular basis, and not know there's something wrong with this man that he doesn't like men, that he likes men. Yeah. There's no way that's going to happen. And if it does happen, then you were blind and you chose to be blind, but and you chose to look around it because you wanted to be married.
A lot of that, though, I think has come down to the point where women, and that goes to that point I was making about testosterone. Women, like, I think there are certain men who are less masculine, and they looking for a girlfriend with a penis. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about gay women?
I'm talking about women in general. There's women who are with men that's like, you didn't know that man was gay? Right. Like, for real? Like what's Terry McMillan?
She knew.
There's no way you didn't know that.
I knew when I looked at the picture. I knew that.
Star Jones.
But see, it goes to your point though. If you look at Terry McMillan's personality, she's strong. She needed somebody who was a little more subservient to her. Just like Star Jones is going to need somebody who's going to sit there and, might let her run some stuff. Right. So she's going to necessarily pick somebody who's...
Hold on. Before you say anything, go ahead, sweetheart.
No, go ahead.
Well, I just want to make something clear. I don't think because you let your woman be somewhat in charge, you're gay.
No, that's not what anybody said.
The smart man lets his woman pretty much run things.
No, but I'm talking about if you look at their personality in interviews and certain things, it's not going to be any submission in that house.
Oh, no.
On their part.
I need you to go back to this women trying to find a man who's a little feminine.
I'm not speaking about every woman.
Okay.
Right.
Don't make a blanket statement.
No, I'm sorry.
just saying.
Please, if anybody confused, I was not saying all women.
Okay.
But I'm saying there is a trend. If you just look at the TV shows, just look at the sitcoms, the men are very feminine. Right. You know what I'm saying? The men are very feminine. Either they're feminine or they're just these dumb oafs who can't even tie their own shoes.
And that is my point when I make the point that there's not, when you say there's many more or whatever, the same amounts, that's my point. We've gone to a culture where this behavior has been normalized to the point where I think that when you have normal behavior, people will try. It was normalized in the 80s that everybody sniffed cocaine. That was a normalized behavior, quote unquote. And so people tried it. People went around and, it's passive.
There's a difference between that and a lifestyle.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I don't think so. That's what I'm trying to say. It's time to go to break. It's The Ugly Truth, Shelley Wynter, Tommy Bottoms, Rashawn Ali is going to be a regular contributor. Amber Saunders, who's going to be a regular contributor. Amber Saunders is with 100urbanentrepreneurs.org. Make sure you go to that site because the pitch practice is coming up in January, and February is a major pitch meeting. We have 60 seconds to pitch for a $10,000 grant for your startup. So 100urbanentrepreneurs.org. We also have Wayne here sitting in who, I guess, opened up. A resident gay man. Right. He's our gay expert.
Yeah, I kind of had to do that. I was getting the camera.
You can't be in Atlanta without a gay
expert. Right. And then we got Keith Hampton, independent filmmaker. Ben Carter's come in. He's got something to say. Did he bring any liquor with him today? Did Ben bring any liquor with him today?
Yes, I'm down.
All right.
And we're going to break.
So Ben is allowed to get on the mic today. We'll be right back. Yeah, this is hot. I come with several. Since I told you. Yeah, I come with several others. I know you'll get one of pitch, but I've been focused on that parent thing. Parent, like what you do for parents, but not the testing the whole parenting thing. What I say for that? Here's my idea. I don't think you're not like, okay, when you go to the kids, that parent's page.
No, I'm telling you. We're live, yeah.
It's all about selling because you know, we go into a church. Hey, we need the money for it. I should have told you guys I have a film myself.
Okay, yeah, when we come back, you definitely talk about it.
And it's hiring.
Oh, Wayne Brown.
No, I'm gonna tell Shelley he's streaming the video live.
It's going live right now?
Yeah, it's live right now. The video's live. You guys are live.
This man come, let me make sure I'm not, oh, I'll stand my welcome now, y'all.
No, you're good.
Okay, just making sure.
And I hope I'm not too long. Just let me know. No.
Radio.
No, I just had been trying to do everything.
I would like to believe you. I can't write a script. I can sell the shit out of it. And Sam Greenlee is still alive. And Killer Mike and I were talking about trying to fly him into town and signing him because he's still selling.
So, you good?
How you feeling, man?
Man, how are you? What are you drinking on today? Hands up.
I ain't missing nothing. I'm here. You turned down my shot. This guy. No, you got your turn down my shot. Never turn down free liquor.
We didn't have no shot against this man.
You did play well, though.
You know what? I give it to him.
No, this is simple.
But it's hard to go get that Brady in the machine.
Yeah.
Oh, brother, you just missed that.
No, that's what I was. That's what I need to get.
How you doing, young man? Good.
Cranberry vodka.
In chapter 12, so,
I want to try.
You know you're not too bad. Oh, you got to chill.
I know y'all over there tweeting whatever it's called. Yeah, tweeting. It's actually all live. The video is all live.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, my JB and I put it on your Facebook page. I don't think you have to.
here you go. I can barely go to my Facebook.
It's mine. Oh, thank you.
I never put it on Facebook. Yeah.
Whoa! Oh, no! I'm sipping it. Damn, man.
Couple of them had you nice. Ben, did you see the video?
Yeah,
I don't know
it was
what he
good.
did with it. Yeah, I mean,
He posted half of it on like a 2-minute version on Facebook.
He did?
Yeah.
I missed that. I didn't go to his page to see it. I didn't see it, so I didn't see it when he posted it.
And then
It was just raw footage, so I just.
we're gonna do scores Monday
I did,
What's that?
for that Saints Falcons game.
Oh, okay.
independent film.
I mean, if y'all want me to come out
What I
and
missed?
something here, man, I can do
Oh,
that.
man.
I'll have all my stuff with me at that point. I didn't know.
We gotta wait for this.
I didn't know they were. I didn't know it was going to be.
Right.
I just happened to be out there with my friend.
Oh, okay. What'd you pledge? Okay. Pledge out for Howard. Howard.
Yeah, I should be in DC in a couple of years.
Yeah.
In our centennial.
Yeah.
Put that on video, so put that on.
Yeah, we definitely. I need to talk
Let's
to
take
you.
this stuff down, though.
Because our distributor covers Athens. Our distributor covers Athens.
Yeah.
that Southern Company? Look at that. She said we on video now, so she looking for some product placement.
National. Stop.
Oh, okay.
We need some green room, fellas. Green room, fellas. Let's get it on the set.
Sarah J. Hey, baby.
Yeah, there we go. Let's keep
All the
going.
time,
We're not in no gambling house.
No.
Hello, we just letting we got.
The title is something like that.
Thank you.
Gotta get another little swimming, need another cup.
Drink yours already, Tommy?
My man, cup.
Trying to say.
Oh, you got it.
Is that your drink?
Your name out.
Oh, that's yours.
Yeah, you know, they just started.
Getting business in the house.
Yeah, did you get your drink?
This song is here it go out. I forgot. It says 3 minutes, but it's probably like a minute left.
Any more chairs? Welcome back to The Ugly Truth, broadcasting live from 25 Bennett Street, the Green Room Actors Lounge. Daddy-O stepped up to the mic, is here. Tommy Bottoms, Rashawn Ali is going to be a regular contributor. Our independent filmmaker, Keith Hampton, is here. And also, of course, Ben Carter from Liquor Traders. And has got his product up here, prominently displayed, cranberry liqueur. Ask for it in your bars or restaurants.
I have been seeing that in many pictures. It's like I, do the little online black gossip sites, and I see this bottle in many different places.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, Frank Skis.
Is that Frank Skis? Oh, got to talk about Frank Ski real quick. Met a young man at Green Room. He was working here, and he told me about a young lady who got let go from Frank Ski's restaurant because she didn't fit this image anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's the image?
What's the image?
I don't know, but I told her I gave her the number of a lawyer.
He's a Puerto Rican black.
I don't know, but I just know I gave her the number of a lawyer because
But I've always argued this. Aesthetics,
no comments.
aesthetics is the last frontier of discrimination.
What is it?
Aesthetics is the last frontier of discrimination. Pretty people win in this world. If you
can't be fat and ugly.
Yeah.
I just saw a movie like that.
If you're tall, you make more money. If you're certain proportions, you make certain money.
It's true.
But the reason why you'll never have anybody championing it, because who wants to admit they're part of that crew?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who's going to admit
I'm ugly.
I'm ugly. I'm discriminating against.
Yeah.
Well, no, but here's the thing that I want to say, though.
I'm part of the
is
5%.
I looked at it from a standpoint. Here's a sister, and she's a black woman who was hired at first and then let go because she didn't fit the.
How does she know? Is that what they told her?
That's what they told her.
Wow.
Right. No, this is not her saying this to me. That's what they told her.
Allegedly.
Well,
Yes,
allegedly.
prefaces allegedly.
Right. Allegedly.
We haven't heard Frank Ski's side of the story.
Yes.
Right. Well, allegedly that's what they told her. But my thing is, I was concerned about it from the standpoint that if Wolfgang Puck's restaurant had let her go, there would be an outcry from our community about a sister getting fired because she didn't fit the image. So here's an African-American business owner who's kind of allegedly saying the same thing. And I'm saying to myself, hey, well, what image do you want?
Could it be, was she, no.
Was she darker skinned?
Yeah, I'm going to go down this.
No. I think we are talking about the same story. But from what I understand, she was let go because she was pregnant, and they didn't want the liability. But then was asked to come up Is it? Oh, then you know both stories.
So you get all the scoop here.
Wow.
Well, then well, I don't know about the.
I mean,
yeah.
because like for example, if you're trying to put yourself as an upscale restaurant in the Lower Buckhead area, and the woman may come off as, let's just say ghetto, or not as high class, or as refined, and they're going, and
is that a reason to be fired?
I think that might be.
So you don't mean physical image, you mean like image as in...
Yeah, I mean, it's the way you carry yourself. If you carry yourself and you're like...
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I don't know. I'm just saying allegedly.
But if we could do that, then what's the next step? If let's say she has... Let's say she has... You see a lot of...
Twists.
Or red Kool-Aid hair.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. But it's a private institution, so...
Right, no. We're not arguing that. What I'm
do that.
My issue is, again, I use the analogy, if it were Wolfgang Puck or Buckhead Life Group restaurant and they let her go, that's a story I would hear on Frank and Wanda morning show talking about sisters being discriminated against. Maybe she had twists in her hair and it's not aesthetically viable to work in Atlanta Fish Market because you got twists. So I'm saying when we start adopting, my point of this whole thing of making it not an issue but a story of interest to me is if we start doing that to our own, then where do you draw the line and where do you have the argument to say to the
we've been doing them?
Let me just give this alternative. Logically, Rashawn's idea or story that she heard sounds a lot more
But
true.
she said that was two different people.
said,
Because if she was hired and then let go, then it would seem that would be more of a true story.
She said it was two different people.
That's two different
Yeah,
people.
Oh, so that's two
I didn't know
different
there was two
people.
different people. I thought it was the
okay.
same story, but from what I understand, it's two different.
We've been doing that for decades, bro.
Well,
Where's the outcry?
No, not no, where's the outcry? And I agree with you, Ben. We have been doing it, but we've been doing it differently. We've been doing it from more male-female relationships. You talk about light skin, dark skin. You talk about afros. You talk about fat, skinny, things like that. It's been different. We're entering a world now where you have a lot more African-American owned businesses. And so you're entering in a role now where if you're allowed to do this, if we've been doing it for years and years, that's fine. But if you're allowed to let it go on, where do you have that argument to a white-owned business when they let black people go for the same reasons? It's aesthetics. Yeah. When you have a real estate company that just hires black people to sell the black property and a white people to sell the white property, they've done that. They got sued for that.
But my thing is this, is that we've been doing it for decades. I know for black owners, they have been doing that. If they feel you do not represent the image or the aesthetic of what they're trying to represent, they will fire you.
I think that speaks to...
And that has not been new.
I think that speaks to a much bigger issue in our community, and that we don't really address. We have a class war in the black community.
Exactly.
Particularly now that more black people are becoming educated, more black people have professional jobs. Now you have this a segment of the black community who looks down on. I've always argued in our community, dress code is the new paper bag test. Back in the day, you had for those who know the paper bag test, when to get into these black schools or into the fraternity sororities, you had to be as light or lighter than a paper bag.
Allegedly.
But the point I'm saying, there's always been that was a class thing. You know what I mean? Not necessarily a racial thing as much, or that was more of a class. If you were lighter skinned, you were considered upper.
I agree. I mean, I'm a sixth generation Howard graduate. Mm-hmm. Okay, we've been there since 1870. Mm-hmm. Guarantee, that my great grandmother, who I love, she was
very skinned.
Oh, yeah, she was half white.
Yeah.
So my whole thing was, but she had a whole thing about those you're not supposed to be hanging around those type of people.
Yeah.
And she told my dad that, and she felt, if you look at my dad was the darkest in my family on my dad's side, and she constantly harangued him about that. Mm-hmm. And he's a little bit darker than me, and I should tell you something.
Yeah.
And so,
Right.
we have it in our community. A class warfare where I think, for example, there's a couple clubs I call out, and I think it's ridiculous where they just go. It's worse than going through TSA to get in their club,
Right.
and they advertise it. They're like, no striped polos, no what type of boots, this type of
seeing a
boots.
flyer back in the day that said, it said no jeans unless they're like design. It said something like designer jeans. No sneakers unless they're like icy whiteys.
Right.
You know what I mean, they can't be any kind of dingy. You can have sneakers, but they gotta be like you just pulled them out the box.
Yeah, I mean, there's a certain image of that particular club. So they don't want white tees and saggy jeans.
But if you it's
Stripe polos.
This is what I'm saying.
What I'm trying to make.
I don't know. On the club side, I don't think it's a class thing.
It is.
I think it's
It's
a crime thing.
No, it's a crime thing. I'm an ex-stick-up kid. It's a crime thing.
It's a crime thing. It's not a
But
class thing.
the easiest way to stick somebody up is to get dressed
It's not a
up.
class thing. But let me tell you
I
something.
can come in there with fresh sneakers and stick everybody up just as much
Exactly.
No, and that's what I did. But what I'm trying to tell you is that no.
Allegedly.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, statute of limitations. Yeah, statute of limitations.
Here's my point, though. My point is, there's a bigger point here. My point is, I know it's been going on, but I give you an example where there was in Boston at Harvard, there was a story where there was a party going on.
I think it was Yale. I think it was Yale.
Yeah, there was this party going on, and a bunch of African Americans were up there for alumni, and they went to go to the party, and the people wouldn't let them in the club. So they said it was because we're black. Well, under what we're discussing right now, which is acceptable behavior, that club was free to say whoever can come in can come in.
Because black people are the ones who act up. In all honesty, I don't see
unless
you
You never been to a white party where they have acted up?
No, we're not talking about
I've been to pre-white parties where they acted up.
They act up differently. They beat each other down.
No, I've seen where...
He was speaking to.
That's the point I'm speaking to.
He was speaking to the point where if this was like the situation with Frank Ski's, if that had been a white restaurant, we would be outraged.
Right.
Because they were saying this is not the image. Because we want to keep certain people out. Because that's what we're saying. We just argued that point. You want to keep certain people out based on how they're dressed.
Absolutely.
And
what I'm saying is,
my thing is this. Okay, I work for a black-run radio company, a white-owned radio company, and both, right? And when I worked for the black-run radio companies, when it was privately owned, it was put upon us that we had to dress a certain way, maintain a certain image, and conduct ourselves in a certain manner.
You're an employee. I'm talking about people walking in off the street.
But I'm just saying, if a Frank Ski's employee, if I'm a black owner or a black restaurant owner, and I should, I have the right to say you do not represent my company in a right way. Therefore,
but that speaks to Shelley's point. It just happened out at Buckhead Grill. Or something like that.
It probably has happened.
It would be people would consider that a whole different type of
I
discrimination.
think the larger question for me is if this person was, and it is all allegedly, if this person was hired, then why was this person let go? If they were let into the door first.
I say we don't know the whole logistics and all.
Right. Let's know what we know.
What we know. But if I hire you, and of course let's be real, people act different on interviews than they do when they start showing up Monday through Friday. So if you go up and you're like, "Hi, how you doing? I'm very well." Blah blah blah, and then you get to there and you're like, "Oh man, I'm at a black-owned company." And I've seen people do this. They change it up. They're like, oh, now around black people, I don't have to put on certain,
airs.
But we were talking about looks, though.
Right, no, we're talking about looks. We're not talking about...
We wasn't talking about actions.
It depends on how images...
Well, no, we're defining image. We're defining image from what we know. Let's not speculate. Right, what I was told was that she didn't fit the image. So let's go with what image means. Not
then you got a point.
Right, you know what I mean?
Yeah, then you got a point.
My point is a bigger...
Image could be anything.
Yeah, image could be
as a private restaurateur or an owner,
you can do what you want.
So what if my image is not? I don't want a black woman running at the front of the thing. Yeah. That could be the image that I'm portraying. I would not want to see a black hostess, so I let her go.
I work for a privately owned corporation that will not have black managers.
Rand Paul made that same argument. He made the same argument saying that, and I disagreed with it.
I agree with it
but
that's why I bring up the story.
You shouldn't have be forced to.
Well, basically, Paul said the same thing. If a company wants to, if a private corporation,
based on everything we've just said here, you guys have all made the point that I made when Rick.
And I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it.
The reason why I bring up that small, and everything we do at The Ugly Truth is a small story that equates to something a larger issue. And the reason why I bring up that issue is that if Buckhead Life Group would have let this girl go by sitting in front of her saying, we hired you, but you no longer,
Like Tavern at Phipps is being sued right now?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
But they're being sued for something differently. They're being sued because they asked their brother to give up his seat. He thought it was
That
racist.
case already got settled.
Yeah.
They got settled.
They got
They know they were wrong,
Yeah.
and everybody knows about Tavern at Phipps. Come on, that's what I'm saying. There's the unwritten codes.
But that's
the image.
But here's the,
They do not want big brothers hitting on white women.
Totally different, though.
at
Totally
Tavern
different because
Phipps.
that's a custom.
Allegedly.
Totally.
Hey.
Totally. Let me finish. Let me finish the big point. The big point here is what Tommy was saying, what Rand Paul said when he was running for office, that he disagreed with the Civil Rights Act of 1965 because he said that government should not be able to force private business, private enterprise to how to conduct business. And I agree with that statement. And we all basically agree with that statement because you're saying as an owner, I can, if I own the green room, I can hire someone and decide, they're a little bit too chubby.
Yes, you can do that.
You can.
You can do that.
Then you cannot get mad at the white man who decides,
I
hired this black woman, but I don't really want a black woman.
I have no problem with that. Tell you the truth, I have no problem with that. If you come out, because there's one reason I say that too, all right? Because, like, for example, there was a case in Marietta with the guy with the Confederate flag, and he was like, I should be able to have my Confederate flag. I go, fine.
NAACP on him. I'm like, why
if you're using state property, that's where it comes in, and that's where the Civil Rights Act comes in. If you're using state property and you're getting tax abatements, right? That means you're getting taxes. You don't have to pay taxes. You cannot discriminate, and therefore you have to.
But you just said that they are.
Well, if I have a private club, like say for example the Piedmont Jogging Club or the Atlantic Club or Bobby Cafe or Bobby Rock a Confederate flag. Yeah, you can throw up a Confederate flag however you want to.
We're not talking about that,
right.
We can't shift the subject matter to make it work for what our.
No, it's not shifting.
Yeah, but it is. We're talking about a restaurant. We're talking about a restaurant who hired a black woman. And then later on let her go because she didn't fit the image.
Yeah, so we do that all the time, bro.
But the point is,
and they right down the block. We need to go get the real story.
At what point do you say it's okay for the white man to do it too? Because he's going to do it.
Because the reason I disagree with it, what you end up happening, you set everything, you set the entire agenda back 40, 50 years.
Yes.
What you end up starting is another era of second-class citizenship.
Right.
That's what if you just start allowing companies to say this person can come in, this person can't. That what you start that down that road of second-class citizenship. Because at the end of the day, let's not get it twisted. The white folks are still 75% of the population here.
But it still needs your money. Like for example, a bar restaurant
not
needs your money.
Same way, Barack didn't need us to get elected.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
But hey,
get twisted.
That bar at Yale that turned down those black alumni
care less about their money.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, either I say you accept it for what it is, but you can't argue if you don't accept it for what it is. You can't argue with that white business owner.
So in a nutshell, so for example, for example, Howard Homecoming, right? All right, so I throw a party for Howard Homecoming, and then and we have 10% white students, and then the white people come in. I'm like, whoa, this is a Howard University alumni party, and I go, and they're like, well, we graduate from Howard. No. You're right. Is that right? Is that right?
I'm saying that you should be allowed to do that.
Why?
But listen, because you just said it was okay for Frank to fire this girl because of her image. You guys just sat here and told me how clubs can routinely don't let people in with white
No. But it's not. These are people who want to pay money to my party.
I'm saying,
and I'm like this. No.
I got a white tee on. I want to pay money. Right.
You don't tell me I can't go party.
But you can't go home and change your skin color.
Right, but she wasn't.
You can change your clothes.
Come in.
But the whole point is, you can.
Oh my God, Terry. Jesus.
You could have came right here.
No, you look beautiful, darling.
Terry Vaughn, owner of the Green Room, she has a comment.
Yeah.
She got the leather pants on.
That's what
on Monday morning.
Wow. Your husband sees this every day. God, Jesus.
Okay.
Bless you, brother.
Oh, God. Back to the subject at hand.
Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Rashad. I love seeing a female femininity on the panel. We were saying.
We were just talking about that. Does that mean no?
What? No, we were saying. I said that I didn't think that there was anything wrong with a company deciding that they want to let someone go because they don't feel like they fit into, because you don't really know what a person is like until you spend time with them. So that's why you have a 30-minute
30 days.
30 minutes. A 30-day trial basis when you hire someone. And so it was nothing wrong with them firing her because all of a sudden they don't think that they like her. Basically, they didn't like her. Right. Basically. But it wasn't because she was black. Right. Now that is a problem. If you fire someone because they're black or they're a woman.
What's the difference?
That's a huge difference.
That's a huge difference.
Because if this same black girl were at the Buckhead Life Group and then she interviewed some way and then she just started to change her image on who she was, they have the right to fire her. And I don't think anybody, NAACP, nobody should be.
The reason was said, you know what, we've had a few customers complain that there's a black woman here, so we're going to get rid of her.
But she wasn't fired because she was black. That's what you're saying.
She doesn't fit the image.
She doesn't fit the image.
One at a time. Okay, for example, I'm sorry. When I worked on Wall Street, right, I worked with a lot of Jews and a lot of Italians, right? So, of course, I played the role. Let's be real. I'm Benford Carter, from, Atlanta, Georgia, both son of two psychologists. But then if I get in there, I'm like this, oh, damn, I got all these Jews and, guineas in here, and start kicking that poor black. You'd be like, we the original black men and everything. They be like, yeah. No, it's not completely different. They're like this.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with Terry. She wasn't fired because she was black. Right. And if you do have that,
what if she was fired?
And I hear you. What you're saying, Shelley, can be summed up in one sentence. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? My mom used to say that. So that's what you're basically saying. Right. Yeah.
Not hate though, because Terry.
But it's not hater. It's not hater. It's just an issue of not fitting. Which might now. Here's the other side, right? Here's the daddy-o side. Yeah. It might do more for that girl than anything ever did for that girl.
I agree.
Right, because if she was getting jobs based on how she looked, and somebody just said got her straight, like no.
Right.
It's not working.
Yeah, exactly. That's a reality wake-up call.
She probably came in there popping gum.
He's like, give me.
She probably was popping gum.
No.
Give me the mic.
Yo, what's yo, sound in.
No. Y'all, I completely forgot my point now.
Turn my mic up, yo.
I think that the issue is that it is business, but if you allow business to be conducted that way, you can't get mad at the white man when he conducts his business and says, you know what I mean, I'm not gonna.
What about a situation where she fits the look, but she can't do the job? You know what I'm saying? And we say, well, we'll keep her on, but this other woman who does the job but doesn't fit the look. Then they'll have a problem with that.
Well, Tommy, this is the thing. I'm sorry. I had to jump in. Okay, I'm Roy Evans. Here's the issue. When you're talking about business, you're talking about a certain set of standards. When you have a business, there are certain things. Exactly. You're not going to let people come in. Hold on, wait. Let me finish because you're asking. No. Because you're asking what is the difference and where do you draw the line? The line has nothing to do with her color. The line had to do. Hold on. The line from what we're hearing. This is of course.
It's not color though.
The issue is
it was image. She was not what we know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And even if it's image, it's still no. Image is not color. Image is she may not have been able to perform the duties necessary.
We don't know that. All we know is she was fired for
image. Right. We can't assume that. That's what I'm saying.
Behavioral.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. Image is behavioral. If you can't have Shaniqua, you can't have Shaniqua in a high class restaurant because people, when you go somewhere, you have a different attitude when you're in Burger King and when you're in Frank's Keys.
But you know what? Let's just say I'm at Buckhead Grill. You all are Shaniqua to me. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
That's the difference.
All are Shaniqua. I don't care where you.
But you know what? But here's the deal. Here's the difference. Tommy, here's the difference though. You can, if she has that case, then she goes there and people are going to be like, that's not her. Her personality, her demeanor, the way that she has conversation with people is totally different.
I don't have a problem with that point of view. But I'm saying if just what Shelley was saying, if you're going to allow that type of discretionary.
It is across the board.
I got a question.
We shouldn't get upset when it happens at a white establishment.
I got a question.
And that's right. You can't be, because it's all business.
But then if
it's
we
all
don't
business.
get mad, and then we start, if we don't start checking that, at what point do we start slipping down that slope to where all of a sudden we become second class?
Mad when it happens at a white restaurant if they're fired because they are black, or
Right.
because they are a
black?
woman.
It's image.
Well, see, but you know what? Tom.
No, but they hired. No, but they hired them knowing they're.
But I found out through my customers that
Terry said exactly right. She was hired because of her skin color.
I got it.
And if you play here, Tommy, we talked about this in relationships. Anybody can play the role for a little bit of time. After a while, their real demeanor is going to come out. How you deal with a customer, you gonna walk in there one day, and if you from the south side of Chicago, or from Detroit in the wrong place, or from Indiana in the wrong place, and somebody say something to you one day, you are not going to deal with it the same way that somebody who was brought up in a different environment is going to deal with it. And that's what will get you fired, how you deal with the individual.
I think that we're all kind of shifting the facts to support what it is that we're discussing, and that's fine. What I'm saying, the facts that we do have, we're shifting a little bit, but that's fine.
I have two questions.
Okay, go ahead.
One is, can you get the girl on the show?
We can get the girl on the show.
Number two is, Frank Ski is some steps away. Can we get him on the show?
Oh, he's not gonna come.
That's to get to the bottom.
Come in the green room.
Ooh,
yeah.
Wow.
Let's see, and
That's not true. He has.
That's a class name.
Let me take it back. It's a class name.
Coffee. I don't drink.
No,
coffee.
Terry's just mad. Terry's just mad because there's about 300 cars that come in.
No, he did mess up the parking the other night.
One at a time, y'all. One at a time, y'all.
There's about 300 cars that come in here on a Friday night, and somebody should be paying to get in here because the only people reaping parking benefits is the valet up there. And so that's an issue for y'all to take up with the management, because that Friday night is packed. It's packed, and you're open, so your people are like, they can't park because everybody, you know what I mean? That's not.
And the last issue that I was going to make is, if we don't get mad at the white establishments that do that, then Sharpton and them can't make no money.
Well, why not just support your business, black businesses?
No, we do. That's what.
No, I mean that's real. That's real. The reason
we're gonna go to break. When we come back, we're gonna get off of this subject. When we come back, I hope everybody stays. When we come back, some people on the Republican side, our side, Daddy-O, are pushing for Condoleezza Rice to be the VP candidate. When we come back, we're going to talk about that. I would love to see Mitt Condi ticket.
Talk about white people trying to use black people.
When we come back.
Okay.
Is there anything in particular you want us to focus on?
Yes. Keep flipping. It's actually this.
Carolyn Friends, that's the Carolyn? Yeah, I want to talk. Yep, okay, cool.
How did you, Tommy, you start talking.
I'll bring my mom to that.
That's what I'll definitely get in. Like, hold on.
Oh my God.
I'm glad you talk like that.
We can talk about it, dude.
You know.
He was so fun. His mom got on the mic on open mic night. Yes.
That's where you get some from? That's where you get some from?
Somebody rap some song. Push it.
Push.
Somebody have a
If
song.
you guys have ever come, see, you guys don't frequent open mic night. I don't know what the problem is.
Really
But
good down
we
to
do. We
just
have a hip hop artist that always
and my mother got on the stage and
It's
started
inspirational. It's called Push. And she got on the mic and started talking about Push.
Oh,
Reasons to Push. It was
my mom, you can't tell
She
her.
was
She said
dancing.
yeah.
I loved it.
That's where you get it
She
from.
loved it.
I get it honestly.
That's where you get it from, mama.
Shelley, so you honestly think that the Republicans are trying to push a black candidate other than the fact that they want to split the black vote and
The
full
party
black
was
vote?
on Saturday.
We'll talk about it. See, you don't know. I'm actually a political consultant. I run statewide campaigns.
You don't split the black vote. Not for Republicans. Not for Republicans.
No. You're missing what I'm saying. No. You're missing what I'm saying. I'm not talking about. Because I'm nonpartisan. I'm not even independent. I take money from everybody. I didn't have Republican clients before. You go to the doctor. You got to look at. I'm talking about in the primary election. If Condoleezza Rice was a legitimate and somebody that they really wanted from jump, she would have already been in the discussion. now that the Herman Cain thing is like gone away, they can't work with him no more. They had to find another person. Exactly. Exactly why. It's exactly why.
She was in a discussion in 2008.
Dude, okay, wait a minute. Here's the thing. Hold on.
Y'all said 2 people each other.
Hold on. If she was in a discussion, how do you pick the 2 people or both of the people that you had running? How is she not better than Sarah Palin? How is she not better than John McCain?
She was asked to run in 2008.
Did she say what?
She didn't want to run. She wanted to get out of politics and go teach. Yeah. They had a Connie for president website in 2007.
Connie's that chick, man.
Come on, man.
Oh, I like Connie, but we talk about that all the time. I like Connie.
You say Mick
She don't.
I say new Connie.
She don't want to be. She didn't want to. She's the same. She didn't run for the same reason that Colin Powell.
All right. Hey, we're going back.
Welcome back to The Ugly Truth, broadcasting live from 25 Bennett Street, the Green Room Actors Lounge. We just cut Bob Marley off. Sorry.
We got political with the music today. Where you at today, Tommy?
So we're broadcasting live from the Green Room Actors Lounge, 25 Bennett Street. Come on down. We'll be here. I'll be here till well after 1 o'clock. So come on down if you come to lunch or something. But some announcements on this Wednesday, the 21st, caroling with Carol and friends, and that would be Carol Blackman, and they're gonna be doing caroling here. So come on down, and Terry J. Vaughn is gonna be singing. That means everybody can sing. It's caroling, right? Yeah. Jaquetta Williams. Jaquetta Williams.
It's technically called singing.
And the Pieces Band. So come on down this Wednesday. It's at 7 o'clock. And come on down to caroling. I like caroling. I like caroling.
You and holiday music.
I love holiday music. The Art of Noise is gonna
come up here.
Oh, I love Art of Noise, man. Moments of Love. Beatbox? What?
Can we
keep it down?
Yeah. Can
we still are a radio show.
Yeah, we are a radio show. And this guy worked years in radio, and you know what I mean? He's funny to me.
The next page. It's on the next page.
Yeah, okay. The Art of Noise is going on. It's gonna be
Let's do some live readings.
You do that.
Yeah.
Thank you. There we go. All right. Make sure you come check out a radiant holiday. It's a celebration and creative tribute to Jean-Michel Basquiat. Did I say that wrong?
Basquiat.
Yes.
Basquiat.
Featuring DJ
Basquiat.
Jones with special guest Daddy Yo. Thursday, December 22nd, right here at the Green Room from 7 until 10. $10 admission, including complimentary wine and cocktails. Proceeds to benefit the Urban Recovery Group and WebEb Inc. So come on out on Thursday, December the 22nd, 7 to 10 p.m.
All right, Rashawn Ali, can you read
good.
our commercials too?
Sure.
All right, because we starting to get people interested in buying commercials. So
That's awesome.
that's awesome, right? So when we came back, we got Ben Carter from Liquor Traders. This is fine liquor.
We finally brought some liquor.
How many of you guys had some? Did you like it? Did you like it? All right. Keith Hampton, independent filmmaker. Rashawn Ali, Tommy Bottoms, Daddy O. We're talking about Condoleezza Rice for vice president. I'll start from this end. Ben, what do you think?
I'm not feeling it. Not at all. It's like when they put Michael Steele in front of the RNC. They were like, okay, we gotta have a black guy to go against the black guy. So they're like, oh, hey, we have a black guy too. Wait. They're like this. They're like, Republicans gotta scramble to have their one black representative to say, hey, we have a black guy too. This is coming from a experienced token. I was a token here growing up in Atlanta private schools. I know a token when I see a token. That's a token gesture and a token move.
Very nice.
Wow. I don't know. I don't know the motive, but I'm not surprised. That's, I don't know what her motivation is. I don't know what their motivation is for selecting her.
Well,
so I can't say it, but I'm not surprised.
I'll tell you what the motivation is. The motivation of any political campaign is to win. Simply put, to win. And by putting Condoleezza, despite what you may or may think about the woman, she is hands down a great woman. All right, she's a provost at Stanford. She went on to be first African-American NSA director. She went on to be first black Secretary of State. This is a very powerful woman. She's a great woman. By any stretch of the imagination, as we look at, by any stretch of the imagination of how we define greatness in the black community, Condoleezza Rice fits every single criteria. Yet she's still not been on the cover of Essence, and I want you women to recognize that Beyonce has been on the cover more times than Condoleezza Rice, but that's a different argument.
I guess Beyonce's blacker.
Right, Beyonce's blacker.
With the little teeth.
I mean,
but
Beyonce makes no sense.
From the standpoint of the Republican Party,
Hold on, y'all, one at a time. Let's keep it
from the standpoint of the Republican Party, I think it is a genius move to make Condoleezza Rice a vice presidential candidate. Because one, what the Republican, all politics are a political move. Yeah, so you can't, they're not doing it because they want to see black people in charge. They're doing it because they want to win. Yeah, so, but the thing is, the biggest knock against the Republican Party is that they have no foreign policy experience. She has been NSA director. She has been Secretary of State. So she gives you instant credibility on that front going forward. And to Ben's point, oh wow, look, she's black.
But you know,
Can I?
Go ahead.
I just want to know. Y'all are so politically savvy, and I love that. But I have one question: do we know if she got a man?
She does. She was dating.
I used to ask the same thing.
She was dating the former retired tight end of the Washington Redskins. I don't know if they're still dating, but she was dating a man. Here's the thing about Condoleezza Rice, and you as a sister should recognize this, and any other sister out there that's very powerful, very beautiful, should recognize this. Right. How do you, and I know I can, if I was ever in a room with Condoleezza Rice, I'll roll up on her so quick, Secret Service would have to jump on me. But most brothers aren't rolling up on Condoleezza Rice.
Only because he's intimidating. I mean, it's
intimidating Michelle Obama.
Yeah. Because she actually got power.
She has more power. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. You guys may love Michelle Obama. Condoleezza Rice has more power than any other woman in the free world.
Yes.
In the free world, it's a black woman.
You can't walk up. You can't roll up on her talking about, hey, shawty.
You can't.
Oh yeah. Hey, Conde, come on.
No.
Oh, Hillary Clinton. Okay.
Actually, let me jump in here real quick. I actually, and I'm one that always makes the Michael Steele argument. I actually don't think it's a racial play in this particular instance. No, only because they already went down there. Herman Cain was that person. That already went down. Yeah. No, they've already sailed that ship. You know what I mean? Condoleezza Rice is more of an expertise decision because nobody. You're looking at a field of fools. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're looking at a field of fools.
That's not
Condoleezza
nice.
Rice gives them the credibility they need for that Oval Office. You know what I mean? She would be the equivalent of a Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney he gave the credibility. Because Dick Cheney ran the Bush administration. You know what I'm saying? But the point is that that's what a Condoleezza Rice move is about.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm not agreeing with the fool part, but I am agreeing with the
this is fools. Well, other than a couple.
It would be possibly, I can't say totally, but possibly the smartest vice president that we've ever had in this country. So that's A. That's A.
He was smart.
Cheney would no. Al Gore? You can't mention Al Gore to a hip hopper.
You can't say that.
Do you know that you can't mention Al Gore to a hip hopper because Tipper Gore tried to shut us down? So that's our husband. That guy needs to be buried. Okay? Tipper Gore tried to shut hip hop down. He didn't divorce her. Yeah. Me and my wife is one. Him and his wife is one. Al Gore don't like hip hop. Don't talk to a hip hop guy about Al Gore, man. Keep that. But here's what I'm saying. Look, it would be
if Newt Gingrich would have said
exactly. All y'all with this Al Gore could go eat an egg that's been buried. But listen. Secondly, I say this, it does give the party, I'm agreeing with you, it does give the party some needed credibility because what we have, because what we have there is, it is a little person. It is a little fluffy. It's a little fluffy.
So Tommy, I got to jump in on that. Hold on, because that goes to my point exactly now. Because she is. I agree totally with everything that you said. She's probably the most second powerful woman in the world. Intelligence has never been questioned about Condoleezza Rice. if the Republican Party was serious about putting out legitimate candidates to run in this next election, she would have been asked from the beginning and pushed in there.
So she's more of the savior now, is what you're saying.
Right. They're bringing her in because you said you're absolutely right. The Herman Cain ship was sailed. And somebody in the Republican Party sunk it with all the stuff that they brought up about it. I mean, he did it to
disagree
himself.
with that.
Hold on, wait, listen.
The liberal media killed that, but go ahead.
He did.
The liberal media killed that, but go ahead.
Let me tell you, hold on. Let me tell you no, Shelley, yes I do. Listen to this. Shelley, let me finish. Shelley, hold on. Because see, we've had the discussion about, we know how Republicans feel about the liberal media. I work with one where you know Kiara. The reality of the situation is this. When you put him up there, it's political, like I said, all the moves are political. It is much easier to have a male figure go against a black male figure than it is to initially have a female figure. Just like Ben made the point about Michael Steele. When Michael Steele was given that position, it is much easier for Michael Steele to say things negative about Barack Obama than it is for Newt Gingrich to say it because of the culture. You're right, where we've been brainwashed.
Can I say something? You know, I've heard that argument. First of all, it's such an insulting argument to black men.
No, why is it insulting? It's the reality.
It's insulting. I'll tell you why it's insulting. Michael Steele was an elected official in the Republican Party in Maryland. Michael Steele came very close to winning the Senate seat in Maryland and lost only because of racial innuendos and racial accusations. Then when he went to run, it took the most number of votes to elect Michael Steele. The Republican Party didn't all of a sudden say, let's elect Michael Steele. He went to the Republican National Convention. It took 7 votes for him to
listen.
Don't finish, man.
Wait a minute.
You know why? You know why? I'll tell you why. Has anybody here, first of all, I won't hear, anybody in the audience know who Reince Priebus is? Raise your hand. No, shut up, Bill. Anybody? No. Anybody know who Michael Steele is? Yeah. Why? Why do you know who Michael Steele is? Because he was on TV every day. The Republican National Convention does not want their president on every single political show, in every single video, in every single interview. They want him raising money.
And he did. He raised money.
Embarrassing the party.
He raised. Hold on. You don't have a mic. Get a mic.
Exactly. He got more black Republicans elected.
What else? How?
Because you don't see Reince Priebus. He raises money.
But wait a minute. Let me jump in.
How's he raising?
Hold on. Wait a minute. We got to set up a rule here. Okay. I know everybody's passionate. If you don't have a mic, just hold it. My bad. Just hold it down. My bad. Because there's too much going on. We got to keep it.
Call me procedure.
I agree. I honestly think that it was. I'm a person that believes Michael Steele, and I don't take anything away from. I think the man is smart. I love his politics. I love it. But I do believe he was there to be the answer to.
He was the answer. He was.
Does anybody see a problem with that though?
We don't have to argue.
I do. No. I'm not saying that. I'm gonna make the assumption that what you guys have said is true. Do any one of you see a problem with that?
If it's politics.
No. Not forget the politics. You see a problem with that?
Yeah, I do. I do.
You see a problem with a black man? At 12:52, I want to say this. You see a problem with a black man getting a job because he's black, because he could go against the other black guy, yet you support affirmative action, which is all that is. It's the ugly.
No, it's not. No. Wrong.
Let me tell you.
That's not affirmative action.
Listen. The irony.
You should know affirmative action. That was done by Richard Nixon in 1972. That's a Republican initiative.
Affirmative action is what you guys.
You should know that.
The black guy got the job because he's black.
Yeah. The irony of it is.
That's affirmative action. He got the job because he's black.
Thank you.
And the irony is.
But you guys don't like that.
Thank you, Richard Nixon. Thank you, Richard Nixon.
Go ahead.
The irony of it all is the fact that it is affirmative action, but the Republicans claim they can't stand that, and that's exactly what they did.
Yes, exactly.
Fair enough.
And they got rid of him for the same exact reason.
Fair enough.
He's a black Republican. He acted black.
That's affirmative action.
No, that's the reason why they got rid of him. They're like, he went on TV. We know how black people are with power. We go out and promote ourselves, right? We're going to tell I am the black RNC president. I'm going to go on TV.
Reince Priebus did.
No, what he's doing. what he was doing. Wait a minute.
It's like Oprah. It's like telling Oprah, you can't be no on the Oprah.
Hold on. One at a time, y'all.
One at a time. And here's the thing, though, you guys got to understand. First of all, there's an election for a new chair every year. So he didn't get fired. He got voted out. Just like the one previous to him got voted out after 1 year. The one previous, you have no mic. Chill for a second. The one previous to him got voted out too. That's why he won. So that's the first thing. Second thing is here. We got to promote Wayne's movie, real quick.
Wayne.
Wayne, what's the name of the movie?
It's called Inside Out.
Inside.
Come up here.
Take the mic.
Sorry about that.
That's right. Next to him.
It got a little bit crowded up here. Yeah. So no, actually, my film is kind of about the topic we were having. It's called Inside Out, and you can actually see a trailer of it on the internet. It's called TheInsideOutMovie.com. And
what's the elevator pitch?
Okay, the elevator pitch. It's
Oh, I don't want to hear the elevator pitch. Where'd you hear the
okay, well, it's
Inside Out kills me.
Inside Out. Okay, well now you know what I said. The word I said when I came up here, I said out. So well.
What's the website? Say it again.
Okay, it's called TheInsideOutMovie.com.
And what's it about?
And it's all about a homeless and homophobic 19-year-old who finds refuge in the home of a gay couple.
Okay.
Gotcha. And
they turned him inside out. No.
Yeah. See, a lot of.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Well, you know what?
Somebody running through my head right now.
Well, you know.
There you go.
That was too easy, bro.
That was
Real easy.
Come on, man. That was a softball.
Yeah, well, you know what? Let me just say this. It was a very difficult movie to shoot because that was one of the concerns, you know, by the lead character.
Okay.
You know, he's a handsome young man from California, and his concern when he's around all these.
Oh, you mean the character, or you mean in real life? With shooting it.
Well, in shooting it.
With shooting it. Okay.
The dialogue is very. I don't know what's the best word to say that.
Provocative.
Yeah, very provocative, and so he really did a great job in this film. But the
trailer.
You can actually buy the DVD right now. But if you go to the cast and crew link on the website, you'll actually get a chance to see the main characters and the supporting characters. You'll see this kid's mother, you'll see his father, and what they have to say about their character. It's a good movie. You should see it.
Say the website one more time.
It's called TheInsideOutMovie.com.
Very good.
Thank you very much, Wayne. For those of you who are just tuning in or just getting here, Wayne was on the show earlier, and we had a spirit discussion about his private lifestyle. We'll put it that way, right, Rashawn?
Yeah.
I missed it. Because if you missed it, you got to ask him what we were talking about.
It'll be on the web.
It'll be on the web.
It will be on
Yes,
the
it
web.
will.
I want to thank everybody for coming up. Don't forget, Wednesday here at the Green Room Actors Lounge, caroling with Carol Blackman and friends. You can come down and sing Christmas carols. You going to try and come? We going to try and come?
Which day?
Wednesday. Because I was going to say, let's just...
Wednesday I cannot do.
All right.
I can do
Thursday to Art of Noise, man.
Art of Noise.
You heard of Art of Noise, Daddy-O. Now, Daddy-O, you going to be performing?
I'm gonna be DJing.
DJing.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, you know, wait a minute. Let me ask you this, Daddy-O, because we come from the same era. Are you going to DJ for the coffee house?
Yo, I'm that dude. I am that DJ.
For the coffee house?
No, listen.
The coffee house.
I am that DJ. Just trust what I'm trying to tell you. I'm that guy.
Straight R&B.
Like, I don't know. I don't do that. If you know anything about me, you know, like, I don't really have that kind of love for R&B. Like, I really think, you know. No, not at all.
But so you're gonna DJ?
Yeah,
So Daddy-O's gonna be DJing. How did this come about? This film thing? This thing on Thursday. Has this come about since you started coming down here? Did y'all put this together?
It's Jay. You know I bring Jay all the time. You know Jay. You know.
So Jason. So wait a minute. Wait, Tommy. See this is what I'm talking about, Tommy. You got to keep. This is why we need a team, man. These guys come down there.
We're trying to be that team, man.
You Jason hobnobbing back there, and next thing you know, you see a flyer. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Listen, man. Redheads have all the fun, man.
Man, and Jean-Michel, I met him once.
Who?
Jean-Michel Basquiat. Met him coming out of the garage one time.
Yeah, I got a lot of respect for him. My wife is Haitian.
Yeah. No, we met him coming out the garage, and he was selling drawings in front of the garage. Yeah. You know, that's because he's lived in the village. Yeah. And open mic on Friday, by the way. No, my mother will never get up on the stage again for open mic. That's not going to happen. No, Terry Vaughn. No, you see why? See, that's what you can't be.
She rapped?
No, she did not rap.
My mother did not rap. Oh! She was spitting the line.
Will not be televised.
No, my mother did.
Black man.
She did have a good time though. But open mic is kind of hot here on Friday nights. So come on out. This is a spot, ladies and gentlemen. You know what made me sick, Tommy?
What?
Honestly, everybody walking down here from Peachtree and seeing so many clones going in that spot up there to spend $15, $20 for a Cosmo or a martini. So many clones. Whereas you had such organic. No, seriously, you had such organic. Good time. My mother came in here. They were singing.
Available at Frankie's restaurant.
I went to Victoria's Secret model show, fashion show at
Twisted Tongue. What's the joint?
Twist.
Tongue and Groove. Tongue and Groove.
Yes.
And you talk about the clones. Every woman had the same dress on in a different color.
I was there
the same little spandex joint. You know what I mean?
I saw different colors. Here's a look. It's a little heel shoe boot. The boot. The shoe, right? They got tights on.
Yeah.
They got tights on and a short black skirt.
Yeah, I agree.
And a very revealing top. And I'm telling you, Friday night it had to be some 50 degrees, and girls are walking up the hill with their breasts showing. I'm like, you gonna catch a chest cold walking around like that?
I do not.
You know, but the sad part about it, but let them do that. Right now, that's fine. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying the sad part about that.
You sound like a little boy complain.
So my thing is this: if you like skiing,
the sad part about
skiing, go on Saturdays.
But the
groove. Let's know what I mean. If you like to go skiing, go on Saturdays.
But the sad part about that is that you have the sad part about that is here on Friday night you have a very organic, regular people. Nobody cares what you have on.
Bohemians.
And live music, live poetry, a live band. So come here on Friday. Go there afterwards, but come here first because I really don't know I don't know who the money is behind Frank Ski's restaurant. The Ugly Truth.
They're black owned.
Yeah, whatever.
Support black businesses, right?
It's The Ugly Truth.
Bye.
The Ugly Truth, Shelley Wynter.
Serving national liquor.
Tomorrow. Rashawn Ali, Daddy-O, Keith Hampton. That's the film website?
Earshotmovie.com or latestcreations.com.
All right, and last one, movie.
And Wayne Hobdy, theinsideoutmovie.com.
Peace out, y'all. Peace.
We're back with Kwanzaa. For the start of Kwanzaa next Monday.
Oh, yeah. Nice to meet you, brother.
Bye, Wayne.
Bye-bye.
Hey, great.